welcome to Set Your Intention for Success in 2015. This is a meditation that I have done with my friends and clients for about the last 10 years on an annual basis so that we could come into this window of time that's called the new year with a new fresh perspective, excuse me there, so that when you are projecting out into the future what it is that you want to create, you are projecting with it the emotions and the right conditions that create that success in a way that aligns to you. I don't know if you know this, that the part of our brain that holds the vision is very close to the part of our brain where our memory is. And oftentimes, when we're wanting to create something for the future, that also stimulates our memories. And our memories are kind of stored and filed in a way that the things that have the biggest emotional spike or hit for us tend to kind of get organized in a priority way. Well, if we have had a loss, if we have some unresolved emotion, if we have some fear, we will unintentionally project into the future our fears, our self-doubt, our limitation. We will unintentionally project in there we want to avoid loss rather than how can we maximize and position ourselves to go from success to success to success. Yes, we're going to have setbacks. Yes, there'll be disappointments. This is life, and often those setbacks and disappointments are just in front of your biggest success. So what we want to do is, in this little short meditation, is to actually come into alignment with what it is that you want to create so that it aligns to the truth of your purpose. It activates your natural skills and abilities, and then we want to quiet any of those doubts or fears that could be stopping you. Because oftentimes when we want to create something in the future, we go, oh boy, wouldn't that be nice? I would really like for that to happen, but I hope I don't screw up, or I hope I'm not disappointed. I hope the right things happen, but what if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not smart enough? What if I make a mistake? And we want to get all that quieted, because the truth is, there's two things. One, you do have within you everything you need. You have all the skills, the resources, the intelligence to make it happen, and no one does it alone. No one has the whole picture. Like this idea that you have for what you want to create in the world, and this idea that you have about what you want to manifest or achieve is actually only half an idea. The other half of the idea is going to be found in relationships and in your environment. And so you're going to have this desire to express, and then in the world there's this desire to receive. See, that's the other half. Sometimes you go, I just feel like I want to help people, but I'm not quite sure who I can help. I have these skills and talents, I have this desire, but really, who can I best serve in a way that can make the biggest impact in the world? I have no idea who that may be. And I don't know who I'm speaking to right now, but this could be you. But you don't quite know who that is. So you go out to networking events, or you're talking to a friend, or you see something on the television, and there's this information that says, here's this need, there's lack, there's an opportunity. See, that's the other half of the idea. And so when this desire meets opportunity, there's this explosion, and you will feel it, you will know it, and it's almost like the light bulb goes off and you go, I'm curious, I'm interested, I want to be part of that. And then that explosion of opportunity will move you. But if you have these unresolved fears or doubts, then you might not take action. And let me just give you a little example of that. Many years ago, one of the first businesses that I wanted to start, like that I might say call a real business, because in truth I was an entrepreneurial kid. I was the kid that did the babysitting, that gathered the Coke bottles, that when I saw all this cool stuff when I was riding my bike, I remember being 12 years old. I'm riding my bike around the neighborhood, and I drove through some of the alleys where the trash was set out. There was some pretty good looking stuff that people were setting out, and I remember going back, getting my sister's wagon, putting that stuff on the wagon, and bringing it home and cleaning it up and putting it for sale and having little garage sales and things like that. So I was always entrepreneurial. My dad was. We had grocery stores, and of the three of us kids, I have two sisters. I'm the oldest of three. I was really the only one that kind of caught the entrepreneurial bug. Everyone else worked for my dad. And my dad really was always looking for that opportunity, and I was really a lot more like my dad. So I was always kind of that way. When I would play games, I played business. If I wasn't playing business games, I was practicing being a stand-up comedian in my bedroom, or I was trying to figure out how we could put on a show in our garage like I saw in the movies like Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney. Saying, I know, we could put on a show in our garage. So I had all of these qualities inside of myself, but I really didn't know what that stuff was or how it could all fit together. And in my as I got older, I discovered about coaching and personal growth, and I became trained in hypnotherapy and different things. But this is before I got all of my training. I wanted to be in business, and my first business that I wanted to go into was a friend of mine was coming into some money, and she wanted to figure out how to invest that money. She really didn't want to just go and try and live off of that. She wanted to try to leverage that money, and we were talking and decided, hey, let's start a gift basket business. There's some opportunities here. This is kind of a new thing. Did just barely any research on it, just mostly had excitement and was really enjoying the process of going around and, hey, let's buy the gift baskets and let's the stuff in it. And I got to do some crafty things and creative things, and then even convinced some people to do some sales for us. And we had done all of this without really trying to find the customers that wanted this first. We just had this big idea, put it together, and we're just going to push it out there into the world. And it turned out, of everyone that I had gathered around me, I was the only one that was entrepreneurial, that had any sales experience at all, had ever dealt with the public at all, and really understood about the bookkeeping. So instead of having all these people who could help me, I had all these people that I was responsible for. And then, after we spent all this money on advertising and going around doing business presentations and everything else, and I was just driving myself crazy. Really, I only wound up selling probably less than $1,000 worth of stuff, and we had invested over $20,000 in this business. So it definitely failed. And there was more than that failure to say, look, hey, maybe that was a good idea. What did I do wrong? What could I learn from it? I spent a lot of years seeing myself as a failure, and then what was under that feeling was not being supported, not actually knowing how to ask for and get the right support to support my business success. And I walked around with that feeling of failure, at the same time battling this desire to be an entrepreneur and have a success. And that stopped me for a long time, because when I would project into the future, oh, I'd love to have this business, Then first I'd have the idea of what business can I do all by myself, which guess what? Nobody does it all by themselves. Nobody does it all by themselves. Everyone gets help or support. It's always better if there's something that you could pay to have done and you focus on your genius part, then you're going to get things done a lot faster. But what I was projecting was failure instead of success. And that stopped me for many, many years. So I developed this little technique that I call just it's a little 4-part transformational statement. So I'm going to be sharing that with you. And what we're going to be doing in this is we're actually going to project ourselves in the future. We're going to get some information from our hopes, wishes, and desires about what we want to create. We're going to get some clear imagery because that's how the unconscious mind speaks to itself. And then we're going to notice what thoughts or feelings may come up, positive or negative. We're going to transform those negative feelings. We're going to get that information because so many people are trying to fight down their emotions or cut it off or ignore it so that they can achieve success. But those emotions, those deeper feelings, are messengers from your unconscious mind. And oftentimes, those feelings will show up just before your success. And what I tell people about this is this: dragons do not guard empty rooms, dragons guard the treasure. Trolls protect the bridges. So if you're dealing with dragons and trolls of emotions, things that are trying to stop you, that is your first clue that there is something great on the other side. And I'm going to show you how to deal with that negative emotion and to amp up your positive, powerful feelings so that we can use that excitement, so we can project that into the future, so that as you're projecting and setting that clear intention into the future for your success, then what you will unconsciously be searching for in your environment, in your relationships, and all this information that you're seeking out in the world, because every second we are processing billions of bits of information, and as it's filtered through our awareness and brought up into our awareness, it's filtered through our experiences and our parameters that we have set for our experience. So we want to set those parameters so that as that information is filtered through, you're getting the right information that will move you from success to success to success, so that as you're stimulating those memories, what you're going to be stimulating is, hey, the last time I was successful, I found someone who had a group. The last time I was successful, I had this. Hey, and when there's something new that you want to face and you want to create, and you ask yourself, hey, can I really do this? You're going to go into your memory banks, and with confidence you'll go, yeah, I can do this, because when I was a kid I was already entrepreneurial. I am going to keep trying to have a success. It's in me. That's who I am, to have business success. I love performing. I love helping people. I love having a big impact. And all of your experiences in your past will suddenly also line up and align in a way that you can activate these gifts and experiences, so it propels you from behind. Your future pulls you, and everything in your environment supports you. Now that's really big promise, but I'm actually not promising anything. This is how it happens energetically and in consciousness. And it starts with this little meditation. So we're going to get started now. I do have to say, I'm pretty sure you're not driving your car while you're doing this, but it does help if you could shut out some distractions for about the next 15 minutes so that you could really focus on yourself. Don't be checking Facebook. Turn off your phone for a few minutes. Just take a little time for you. So I just want to invite you to go on a little journey with me. We're just going to dream for a minute. And imagine it's a year from now, and you're just kicking back, you have some quiet time, maybe your feet up or in front of the fireplace, and you're just thinking about this past year. And maybe there was some highs and lows, and but there's some things that you did that were pretty great. Maybe there were some shifts in your family. Maybe you made some advances in your business. Maybe you finally had some ahas, that you got some clarity. Maybe there was that client or that friend that you got to help. Hey, maybe something happened this year that you got to see that people helped you. But just for a moment, let's just reflect back and just count our blessings. And as you think back, what things did you accomplish? Yeah, and just be present to that. It's so easy to go, oh, the next thing, or it could have been better. But even if it was small things, just acknowledge it and bless it. And still imagining that it's a year from now, we're going to imagine that, hey, you did accomplish everything that you wanted. In fact, you were kind of amazed at what you accomplished. You made the money, you did the big thing in your career or business, you took the dream trip, you lost the weight, you deepened your love and family relationships. Think about, like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did this stuff. And when you think about how that feels, what do you feel? Now remember, we're in the future. You're looking back over 2015. And bringing back yourself back now to this present moment. You might have actually had trouble going, yeah, I accomplished all of this, because there was this little collision of thought about, well, let me see, 2014 was this way, and then maybe, yeah, I got the house, but maybe there was this jumble, or maybe it was like, yeah, I had the love life, I had the health, I had this, it feels great. And then there was this, but, but, but then, but not really. It felt fake feeling. Often we can get so much information from fantasizing. One of my favorite games is called When I Win the Lottery. And used to be, when I would play the game called When I Win the Lottery, it wouldn't take long. Like, once I would think about, oh yeah, I would go on the shopping spree, all my debts are paid, this is how much money I'm giving all my relatives, do I buy or do I just rent places, maybe I want to travel. Then it wouldn't take long, maybe even less than 3 to 5 minutes into thinking about this big fantasy thing that I wanted to create. It would be like, yeah, but then how do I manage the money? Do I put it all into a fund? Do I try to invest it? Do I just live off the interest? And then next thing you know, it was like, how do I protect it? How do I take care of it? And then I would get kind of overwhelmed, because I've never had $150 million before. And there's this part of me that was kind of come up and start worrying, going, well, what if I lose it? How do I protect it? How much do I give my family? What if they blow through the $1 million I gave them? Then what is the rule going to be? Right? So I had this kind of stress. Well, your hopes, wishes, and desires are the clue to what's possible for you. But your fears, doubts, and worries are the clue to who you really think you are and what's possible for you. It's about what you think's going to happen, really, on the inners. And so if you felt this kind of mix up or jumble, like, yeah, I want to really project in, I feel great, it feels good, I'm with my lover, I'm in my beautiful home, my bills are all paid, and I know that I've got more than enough money coming. As you come in that expansion, if you're noticing there's that little grab, that's the clue to the program that we want to address. So now, when you think about where you are now in life, in this imagery of being in the future, everything's great, you accomplished everything, how far away does that feel from you? Does that feel like, yep, it's going to happen? Or does it feel really far away? Like, yeah, it's a fantasy, it's nice, it could happen. And maybe there's some doubts or fears showing up. Like, well, I want to have a business. I want to have it online. I want to create a program, but I don't know where to start. And the only, every time I try something, it either falls apart or I get overwhelmed. If you're having those kind of thoughts, just notice. And we want to tune into that. Okay? We're just going to tune into that fear. That's the thing that's actually driving everything. That's that little rudder that's directing everything. And there's this part of you that does not care if you fulfill your purpose or mission in the world, if you have luxury or comfort. There's this part of you that says, hey, everything we've been doing up until now has worked great. What are we doing trying to change it? And it locks in. And we're going to address that in this meditation. And we're also going to connect in with your inner program director so that we can give that part of you some new parameters for success. So I've given you a handout, and all you have to do is click on the button on this page to grab that handout. But there's a 4-part statement, and it actually starts out negative, and then we flip it around. So the way this works, so let's say that you're projecting into the future, and as you think about all these things that you want to accomplish, then you think of everything you might have to do or everything you've heard that you have to do in order to accomplish it, and you feel overwhelmed. We're going to use that word as the example here. And then I'm going to give you a space to clear it, okay? So think about that word that comes up for you, that feeling that's in that gut. And we're going to use the word overwhelmed, and we're going to do the 4-part statement. And here's how it goes when we do the negative run. I am overwhelmed, and I am going to be overwhelmed. And I am going to do everything in my power to stay overwhelmed until I no longer need to be or feel overwhelmed. And then take a big breath. Now, the example that you may have, that I have here, is about being angry. Sometimes we're angry at ourselves, or we're angry at a situation. If you had a layoff, if you had a bad business deal, if there was a disappointment, we try to make ourselves wrong for our negative feelings. But when we tell the truth about our feelings, that opens up this space for our truth to arrive. And if you notice in this 4-part statement, that last statement was, I'm going to be this way until I no longer need to feel angry. And you take that breath. Did you notice that, or overwhelmed, did you notice there was this little calm? So we're going to do it with angry just for a moment. Maybe you do or don't have anger, but we're just going to go ahead and use it as an example one more time, and then we're going to do your own. So I'm angry. You could be angry at yourself, right? I am angry, and I'm going to be angry, and I'm going to do everything in my power to stay angry until I no longer need to be angry. Now just notice as I say that, you may actually be feeling some relaxation happening in your own body. Big breath. Remember to breathe. So now, what was your negative emotion? So just follow along and say this out loud. I am, and then state your that emotion. And I am going to be, fill in the blank with your emotion, and I am going to do everything in my power to stay, fill in the blank, until I no longer need to be or feel that way. This is an incredibly powerful technique, and I want to encourage you to practice this. And so you'll use the real words. Feel free to cuss and stomp or yell during this part. You can improvise and say the way it feels best for you. But keep the I am now, and I'm going to be, and I'm going to do everything or anything like until I no longer need to do this first. This is actually redirecting your programming. Okay? So one, you've acknowledged it. So now, what would be the opposite of that feeling? So instead of feeling overwhelmed, I would like to feel supported. Okay, going back to my original story. I would like to feel supported. So here's the positive statement. I am supported, and I'm going to be supported, and I will do everything in my power to create support in my life until I know myself as one who is supported. Now this is important because before I self-identified as someone who didn't have help or support. And everything I did unconsciously supported that belief about myself. I acted that way, my communication was that way, until I turned it around. And I have to tell you, taking ownership of the support that's in your life, like saying, hey, this is who I want to be, this is how I want to be known, I want to be a supportive person. And when you start seeing yourself that way, the help and support that actually has probably been there all along, but it's invisible to you because of those parameters that you had set and those filters of reality that I talked about, suddenly people just kind of start coming up out of the woodwork and helping you and giving support. And you find you have more energy to be the right kind of help and support. I mean, unless you feel supported and you have this base underneath you, how are you going to serve the people that you want to really help and serve? And then why would they be attracted to you if you are someone, how could they trust your support if you yourself aren't supported? Right? You create this strong internal state, then you will be communicating that from every level of your being, and people will know that instinctively, and they will be able to trust your support. So instead of the way you have felt in the past, whatever that negative feeling was, afraid, angry, full of doubt, what would you like to feel instead? And whatever that word is, would you like to be confident? Would you like to feel brave? Would you like to feel, like I said, supported, focused? What do you want to feel? Okay, maybe you felt like you were kind of like higgly-jiggly all over the place. Determined, right? Do you want to create a feeling of success within you? I am a success, and I'm going to be a success. Let's use that word success since we're setting our intention for success. So repeat after me. I am a success, and I am going to be a success, and I will do everything in my power to create success in my life until I know myself as one who is successful. Woo! Isn't that powerful? Woo! Breathe into that one. And you might want to do that one. This is a really powerful affirmation. But here's the way to use this. Let's say you could actually start with the powerful affirmation, and then if you notice, that didn't quite feel true, I kind of feel afraid, or I don't feel worthy, then go through the negative, and then turn it around with the positive. And what you're doing is you're alerting every aspect of who you are, who you've been, and who you're destined to become, that hey, this is what's happening, people. This is everything I'm directing my intention to right now. Whew, so simple. So, how about this? How would you like to do things from a peaceful state? So, I am peaceful and I'm going to be peaceful. And I will do everything in my power to create peace in my life until I know myself as a peaceful man or woman. And you would just run with that positive feeling on all the states that you want to create until you know it, until it just feels calm. So now, what you would do, you would actually go back and try and find that negative emotion. So right now, we're going to go back and we're going to think about what it is that you want to create or manifest in 2015. The business success, the monthly income, and make it a real number. So if you want to create $100,000 income for 2015, you want to have that breakthrough year and create 100,000, then you need to create or manifest. That means about $8,400 a month. So right now, realistically, when you think about from where you are right now, what you're earning monthly and creating $8,400 a month, how does that feel? Does that feel doable? Just keep checking back with that. Maybe you don't quite know how because you keep trying stuff and you haven't quite reached it yet. Or maybe you have a really great month, but the next 2 months are terrible. So how can you create consistent income? Right? And so those ideas may be coming in. But what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through a very gentle meditation. Okay? And here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about that moment that you realize you have everything that you wanted to create in 2015. And it could be a moment very much like what we have here where we're in front of the fireplace. And you're just thinking back, or maybe you're telling a friend and you're having those memories. And you go, wow, I made it. I have the relationship. I have the income. I've had the experiences. My business is doing what I always knew it could do. And it was easier than I thought. Even in facing the challenges, this one decision that who you are, you're a success. And I want you to create that little vignette, that little moment. And as you're doing that, take a breath in. And as you breathe out, say ah. Ah. Yeah. And imagine that little vignette's like this bubble in time. Close your eyes. And we're going to bring in that little bubble in time. Pull it closer into your heart. And the eyes focused on your heart right now. That everything that you created was in alignment with your soul's purpose, with your skills and attributes. Everything in your life has led to this success. And just let that little vignette and all the light inside of that vignette just join with the light in your heart. And as you're connecting in to that light in your heart, notice that there's all along been helpers and friends and support, seen and unseen. Just breathe into that support. Now, eyes closed, lift your chin up lightly. And I want to invite you to just very softly, with your eyes closed, roll your eyes up and picture, visualize, or imagine that there's this pole of light and you're looking up that pole of light. And I want you to send up that little bubble of that vignette right up, because it's going right up into source. Beautiful. Beautiful. And now allow yourself to follow that image up, 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 up. And the higher you go, the faster you go, and soon you find yourself surrounded by that beautiful black void in space. Reach out into the blackness and pull it away like a heavy black velvet curtain as you come into that white light of pure potential. And as you're in this space, silently follow along with these words. I am a success, and I'm going to be a success. And I will do everything in my power to create success in my life and in the lives of other people. And I will do everything in my power to create success for myself and others until I know myself as a success. Allow your eyes to relax and just let that expand out to an idea even greater that serves even more good. And as you're in this space, your eyes are relaxed. Imagine that you're looking down and you see yourself and you're listening to this little video or this little audio. And now just watch as the energy of success, all the information, start to do a direct download. All of the learning, all of the luck, all the opportunities that need to come in, all of the skills, just witness the energy of that coming into you. Good. Now bring your attention back one more time. We want to create support for you. So just eyes up for a moment, go up a little higher. Now relax your eyes. I am supported, and I'm going to be supported. I'm going to do everything in my power to create support for myself, my friends and supporters, and my clients until I know myself as one who is completely supported on every level of my being. Thank you. And now just witness as that energy goes out. Your eyes can be relaxed now. And we're going to go ahead and create wealth for you. So right now, eyes up, follow along. I am wealthy, and I am going to be wealthy, and I will do everything in my power to create wealth for myself and others until I know myself as one who is wealthy. Eyes relaxed, expand that idea out, just send that out. And one more is for your health. I am healthy, and I'm going to be healthy, and I will do everything in my power to create health until I know myself as one who is healthy. And now, as you're coming back down into your body, imagine you're coming back down and you're settling in, and we're just going to allow that energy to come in. And now that little vignette that you created of what success looks like to you in 2015, the friends, the relationships, the money, the business, the experiences, your family, your health, allow that to come in. And right now, as that's coming in right back into your heart, I'm going to speak directly to your inner program director. And I just want to say to that program director that you have done a fabulous job giving everything that you've been given in order to create health, wealth, and success to keep your person safe. And I want to say thank you. And you've been asking for some help for a long time. And I want to let you know that right now we are bringing in for you everything that you need in order to help create success, more money, better health, better relationships. And I need you to alert every cell and fiber of this being, that it's time to release, let go, and unwind all of the old habits, systems, and protocols. And it's time to prepare for new incoming information, systems, habits, strategies, and protocols that will allow you to go from success to success to success, confidently, fully supported, joy from joy to joy. And I want to thank you so much in advance for making that happen. Now bring your attention back to your heart. When you're ready, open your eyes. Stretch. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining me on this meditation. And you can do this as many times as you like. This is an amazing little tool. I call it the I Am Manifesting technique. And twice a month I take a small group through about an hour-long teleconference so that we can come into alignment, set your intention for success. I answer your questions. I give a little teaching. And then I take you in the group through a manifesting meditation, and then we get to report back all of our wins, and we've been having some amazing things happen. So for more information about that, you can just go to kathrynperry.net, and I do work with people one-on-one, and I have a way for you to contact me there or through the Facebook page here. So thank you so much. Have an awesome 2015, and I would love to get your comments below on what you thought about the meditation. So until next time, this is Kathryn Perry. Now witness your mastery.